This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Centre, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. Viewers, I'm Simon Preston and welcome back to Reggae Boyz commentary. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video on this channel. Really appreciate it. So what we're going to do in this video is look back over the last 31 years. Yes, that's right, 31 years as we tie down and go into the details as it relates to which Jamaican players scored on their international debut over the last 31 years. Did you know that in the last 31 years that 23 Jamaican-born players, rather 23 Jamaican internationals, have scored on their debut? Yes, that is right. And we're going to get right into the matter now. And we're going to start with none other than Walter Boyd. Yes, the Pearl. Walter Boyd scored on his international debut for Jamaica in 1991 in a 2-1 victory over Cuba. Walter Boyd played for Jamaica at the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France, and he also played professionally in England with Swansea City as they were in the lower leagues at the time. To this day, he's tipped by many in Jamaica and overseas as Jamaica's greatest ever goal scorer. Greatest ever player, most skillful, and they really admire his ability. So, Walter Boyd, 1991. Let's stroll on 4 years forward as we look at another player who is tipped by many as one of Jamaica's greatest ever players. Who is that? Well, that is none other than Onandi Lowe. Yes, Onandi Lowe scored for Jamaica in 1995 on debut in a 2-1 victory over St. Lucia. Onandi Lowe went on to play for Jamaica at the 1998 World Cup in France, Gold Cups after that as well, and at one point he was scoring goals for fun for Jamaica. He also played professionally in England. He also played professionally in the United States as well. Scored goals for Jamaica at the Gold Cup as well, with his last Gold Cup goal coming for Jamaica in 2003 against Guatemala in the Gold Cup at the Orange Bowl Stadium in Miami in a 2-1 victory. So 1995 Onandi Lowe. We're going to skirt on up 2 more years now as we move a little bit further now to Paul Hall. Yes, Paul Hall scored on his debut for Jamaica in 1997 against Cuba. And guess who else scored on his international debut against Cuba in that very same game? Dion Burton. Yes, the 2 allies, Batman and Robin, scoring on their international debut for Jamaica. Yes, they scored in a 3-0 victory over Cuba. And now what we're going to do, we're going to fast forward a few more years now. 2002, Jamaica against India. It's a match that will be remembered for many reasons. Jamaica kept a clean sheet, and for the first time in history, Jamaica's goalkeeper scored in a game. Yeah, Aaron Lawrence scored in that game from a penalty spot, but still he scored, and he's the only Jamaican goalkeeper that can say that he scored for Jamaica in an international game. But you know who scored on debut in that game? A man known as Tuffy. That's right, Jermaine Tuffy Anderson. One of his 2 goals for Jamaica came on his international debut. His last goal came for Jamaica in 2013 in the World Cup qualifiers at the National Stadium in a 1-1 draw against Costa Rica. So that was none other than Jermaine Tuffy Anderson. And now we're going to move on to another person that scored on debut in 2002. And who is that? Well, that was Roland Dean. Yes, Roland Dean scored 2 goals for Jamaica against St. Lucia in 2002. And let's move a little bit quicker, shall we? 2004, Marlon King scoring on his debut for Jamaica in a 2-1 victory over Venezuela. What a game that was. Marlon King eventually went on to play 24 games for Jamaica, scored 12 goals in the process, a goal per game ratio of a goal every other game, regarded by many as one of Jamaica's best ever finishers. So, Marlon King, 2004, scored on his international debut. Now, we're going to stay in 2004 and we're going to look at another player. Yep, that's right. November 24, 2004, 12-0 victory over St. Martin. Many records were set in this game. The first and only man to date to score 4 goals on their international debut, Luton Shelton. Yes, Luton Shelton scored on his international debut for Jamaica, 4 goals in a 12-0 victory over St. Martin. Luton Shelton, the late Luton Shelton, is Jamaica's all-time leading goal scorer with 35 goals in 75 international games, scored for Jamaica at the Gold Cup, and also scored for Jamaica in many, many World Cup qualifying campaigns. Also helped Jamaica to Caribbean Cup titles in 2005, 2008, and also 2010. So that was Luton Shelton. But did you know in that very same game, Richard West scored for Jamaica? Yeah, Richard West scored his international debut for Jamaica in that game, also in 2004. Now, we fast forward 2 more years. Wilfred Smith. Yes, Wilfred Smith scored for Jamaica in a 4-0 victory over the St. Lucian team in the Caribbean Cup, 2006-2007 edition of the Caribbean Cup. Now, 2 years later, Nicholas Adlery. Does that name ring a bell? Jamaica College, Puerto Rico Islanders, helped the Puerto Rico Islanders to a deep run in the CONCACAF Champions League. They went to the semi-finals. Yep, that Nicholas Adlery. Nicholas Adlery scored for Jamaica in 2009 on his debut in a 2-2 draw against Haiti. Yes, that is right. Nicholas Adlery scored on his international debut against Haiti. You know who also scored on their international debut in 2009? Brian Bayliss. Brian Bayliss scored in a 4-1 victory over the Cayman Islands. 2010, let's go over to Martinique. Oui, je parle français en Martinique. Nous parlons français. Français est très, très, très facile. C'est une langue très facile, plus facile que l'anglais et plus facile que l'espagnol. Yep, Marvin Morgan scoring 2 goals on his international debut in a 4-0 victory over Guyana in the group stages of the 2010 Caribbean Cup. Marvin Morgan scoring 2 goals for Jamaica. Let's fast forward 2 more years now. Georgina James, does that name ring a bell? Georgina James, yes, as a teenager, scoring at the National Stadium on debut on Ash Wednesday, 1-0 Jamaica. What a goal he scored in a 1-0 victory over Cuba. Guess who also scored on their debut in 2012? Jeremy Lynch. Jeremy Lynch. The one-cap wonder. Jeremy Lynch in a 1-0 victory over Guyana. That was the same game where Naira Nosworthy and Adrian Mariappa made their debuts for Jamaica in a 1-0 victory. To date, that's Jeremy Lynch's only cap for Jamaica. Interesting, right? Yeah, I know. Up next on this list, we're going to go to 2015. Does the name Giles Barnes ring a bell? Just like Marlon King, Giles Barnes scored on his debut against Venezuela, and Jamaica also won that game by 2-1. So Giles Barnes, a man who scored for Jamaica as well at the Gold Cup in 2015 as Jamaica defeated the United States by 2-1. Giles Barnes, that's the man. 2017, Fabian Reid. Yes, Fabian Reid scored for Jamaica in a 2-1 victory over Trinidad and Tobago in August 2017 over in Trinidad. And in that very same game, Jamil Hardware scored in a 2-1 victory as well. Let's go to 2018 now, and there were also 2 players scoring on their international debut for Jamaica. Malik Foster and Dane Kelly in a 2-2 draw against South Korea. They scored really, really good goals. We know about them both having plied their trade in the United Soccer League. We move a little bit further now. Still also in 2018, Daniel Green. Daniel Green scored on debut in a 5-1 victory over Grenada. Yep, that is right. Daniel Green scoring on his debut. And 2 more to round out this list. Bobby Reid. aka Dexter Daps, scored in a 6-0 victory over Antigua and Barbuda. He scored in his debut at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. And the last person to score on their international debut for Jamaica is none other than Kemar Bushy-Beckford. Kemar Bushy-Beckford scored for Jamaica their second goal in a 2-0 victory over Bermuda in March of 2020. This was the day where Jamaica found out that they had 2 COVID-19 cases on the island. So that basically rounds up those 23 names that have scored on their debut for Jamaica in the last 31 years. Impressive, eh? Really, really impressive. It's funny because the last person to score on their debut at the National Stadium, you know how far we have to go back? Real far, actually. We have to go back to real far. We have to go back to Georgina James, 10 years ago. Time flies. But what are your thoughts? Who will be the next person to score on their international debut for the Reggae Boyz? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more content. This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471.